Hi, I'm Nikki from the Fabulous Life Builder, where we talk about integrated attachment style and personal development. Today, it's all about the secure attachment style, mainly through the lens of Thais Gibson's integrated attachment style theory. It's the ultimate goal for us insecurely attached people because secure people don't let their traumas, insecurities, and coping mechanisms sabotage themselves. For any other attachment style, the question is always, what would a secure person do? During some studies conducted by Aainsworth, when a very young child with their parent was put in an unknown room, the secure child would usually be comfortable exploring the room with the parent. When the parent left the room, the child would become visibly upset, but would be able to self-soothe a little bit and would be happy when the parent rejoined them, and they would continue on with their playing and exploring. The study also noticed some of the children would have very little contact with the parent and not be distressed when they left the room, which were the avoidant group. Then some of the children seemed not so comfortable even when they were with the parent. And when the parent left, they displayed greater signs of distress that were not totally soothed when the parent came back. Later in different studies, they added the disorganized attachment style for the children that didn't really fit into these three categories from Mary's studies. So, what causes the secure children to feel comfortable exploring and soothing themselves and have a good attachment to their parents? And how does that affect a person's life as an adult? Let's break down the secure attachment style. Okay, so growing up, the securely attached people had a pretty stable environment and consistent caregivers. Most likely, they had parents that were authoritative instead of permissive or authoritarian. So the children learned and were conditioned that there are consequences and reactions to their actions in life. And the consequences are pretty consistent, unlike the environment of, say, a fearful avoidant, where there's a lack of consistency and predictability in their environment. So when the rules and reactions of their environment are very consistent, it makes the child feel safe to be able to explore. So imagine being a very small child learning how the world works around you, and you are able to learn that every time to do a certain action, you get a certain outcome, and the caregivers around you will always react in the same way. You will learn to trust what will happen every time you do that certain thing. So A equals B. So you spend less energy focusing on what might happen if you do said action because you now already know what's going to happen. So you can put your focus on putting your foot forward to learn other things around you. It also helps that the parents are present with the child as well. So while the child is learning and exploring, they still have a sense of safety that if something goes wrong, the caregiver is there for them. I think the ability then to go and explore and learn, but also have that safety net, allows the children to both be able to bond and trust their caregiver, but also be able to feel safe going out and doing things on their own. They feel the love and safety from their caregivers, and they don't need to fight for it and seek approval as much as some other insecure attachment styles do. So when a child's caregivers are present, consistent, and take care of them for both their physical and their emotional needs for the child, and are in tune to the child's needs, the child feels safe to go explore on their own because they know they can always come back to the caregiver if they need something or if, say, something goes wrong. And what are the common traits that most secure people display? Secure people tend to be very stable emotionally and balanced. They have a great relationship with themselves, so they know when to speak up and communicate effectively for their boundaries, and even ask for needs. When those needs are not able to be filled by someone else's, it's not that big of a deal as they can still meet it for themselves. So being able to be stable and emotionally balanced also makes them comfortable with setting boundaries and being good communicators. They have a healthy amount of self-esteem. So their ego is not overinflated, but also they are not totally low in their self-esteem either. They realize they have both strength and weaknesses in the things they do. They are pretty consistent and steady people and very reliable. Usually, they say what they mean and they mean what they say. They show up when they say they're going to show up, and you can count on them being there and their communication being consistent. This also makes them very accountable people. They also have no problem owning up to mistakes and even wanting to learn and grow from their mistakes. They can be rather patient people as well, but not without totally abandoning themselves and their boundaries. Do securely attached people have any core wounds? Securely attached people can for sure have core wounds come up, but they are more related to the direct situation they are in, as opposed to anxiously attached people who all commonly have the core wound with each other. So while a secure person can experience a core wound, there isn't really a commonly secure attached core wound that they all collectively have. So for example, anxiously attached people have a core wound of I will be abandoned and rejected. Fearful avoidance have a core wound of I will be betrayed. And dismissive avoidance have a core wound of I am defective. The securely attached will have a core wound that will come up that is specific to a certain situation. Like if a partner has been ignoring them for a long time, they will feel hurt about not being seen and heard by their partner, where the other securely attached people don't experience that because they haven't been in that specific situation. Another securely attached person might feel that they are bad at their job if they messed up at work. And even though core wounds do come up for them, they don't feel them nearly as strong as the insecure attachment styles do. The I will be abandoned core wound to an AA is so intense, it paralyzes them and rules their actions and what they do. Securely attached people will feel it, but it doesn't rule them or take control over them as a whole because they have less negative feelings, associations, and stories around the wound. Plus, they have better coping mechanisms to deal with the wound as it comes up. They still experience problems in life, grief and pain as we all do. The difference is the stories and the beliefs they put behind it and how they deal with it makes them able to cope better. So what are the coping mechanisms securely attached people have? They are able to ask for help from others and know that it's okay to sometimes need a hand or support from somebody else. They are very good at conflict resolution and communicating to others. If they have a problem with somebody, they speak up and clearly state what they need, their boundaries, and even some strategies on how things can proceed forward. This is not just in romantic relationships, but also friendships, with coworkers, and family. They know how to communicate to others without being combative so that they are more seen and heard by others. They know the importance of communicating their needs and when things are off to others. They also are vulnerable in the right situations and don't have a problem opening up. Being able to be vulnerable also helps them be seen and heard. They are also very good at identifying their own needs and not only speaking up for them, but also knowing the actions needed to get those needs met, whether it's through somebody else or themselves. Avoidant attachment styles have a very hard time identifying what their needs are in the first place, and when needs go unmet, things start to get unbalanced. The secure also know how to self-soothe. While they certainly have no problem asking for comfort from other people, they are also able to get it from themselves. So many people love to know, what do the securely attached look for in relationships? What are their relationship needs? How can we impress them because we all hope to find a secure partner? They're basically looking for all the traits in a partner that they have themselves, or at least are willing to try and learn to display those traits. They look for someone who is able to effectively communicate and can make a connection. They will need someone to be able to resolve problems with healthy solutions. Of course, they will expect commitment and want to see consistency in their partner. They need to feel peace and balance and harmony. Also, they expect to see accountability from their partner. The big question that is asked all the time is, if you were not raised to be securely attached, can your attachment style change to become secure? And the answer is yes, you absolutely can, but it does take a lot of work and effort by many. It requires a lot of subconscious reprogramming and repetition. It also helps to be aware of your own insecure attachment style so you know what needs to be worked on and what direction to go in, and to recognize when you slip into old patterns. So knowing and understanding your own insecure attachment style brings a lot of self-awareness needs to the healed wounds and correct behaviors to become more securely attached. So is there a such thing as a perfectly secure person? All these coaches and experts always talking about how to become secure, how the secure person reacts. The secure person is the modeling on how things should be done. It can easily be idolized and created into this ultimate way of being. And for many people with insecure attachment styles who are in pain and desperate to heal, being perfectly secure can easily become a goal and idolized. But is there anyone that is 100% secure all the time? Even people that are securely attached are, well, people. And they will have human mistakes and flaws just like everybody else does. So while a person who displays mostly secure traits can still have some traits that are not considered secure pop up. Just like many insecure attachments are on a spectrum as well, just because someone is DA doesn't mean they're 100% DA and don't have some traits that other attachment styles are going to have. Another thing I would like everyone to keep in mind is that most children have multiple caregivers growing up. Either it be two parents, grandparents, aunts, uncles, and even teachers and babysitters who spend a good amount of time with their children. The chances of all of the caregivers at an early age being secure or have the ability to give a child what they need to become secure are on the lower side. So the child is going to pick up traits and learn certain things from all of their caregivers. So while for many people becoming 100% secure is an ultimate goal, keep in mind realistically, no human is 100% securely attached. So I hope this information was helpful to you in understanding the secure attachment style. If you have any questions about what I covered in the video, please leave a comment below. And please like and subscribe to learn more about how you can take the steps on creating a fabulous life for yourself. Also, if you have an insecure attachment style and want to become secure and learn how to do all the stuff that I've mentioned, you can message me over on Instagram for one-on-one coaching, and I will certainly be glad to help you out. And if you can make me one promise right now, I want you to do one thing that can help you become more securely attached. Even if it's just like something really small, I still want you to do one thing that will help you become more secure today. Okay, I'm holding you to that promise, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.